So let's go through the few steps that I have discovered and I have learned from my experience. The first step is actually to learn about real estate, because if you've never done it, you're going to make a lot of mistakes, or I should say a lot more than you would do the first time. So you need to learn books, podcasts, videos on YouTube, any possible ways. I personally have researched a lot with books and with podcasts and with YouTube videos. For example, there is Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, The Obvious. There is Dave Ramsey. There is Bigger Pocket podcast, as well as the website and the YouTube videos. It's quite interesting. There's Clayton Morris from Morris Invest. And there is on YouTube, you're gonna have guys like Graham Stephan that have a background in real estate. I'm not saying that those guys are perfect, they're not without controversy, but they have a lot of experience. It's nice to listen to them, it's nice to learn and to expand your horizon as much as possible to understand at least the basics before you go further. The second step is to learn about the area where you want to invest. Maybe the easiest way is to invest literally in your backyard, in your hometown, in the area you know very well. Take your car, take your bicycle, walk around and learn about the area. Is it a good area? Is it well connected by bus, by public transportation? Do you have schools? Do you have hospitals? Do you have a university next to it? Those are a couple of things that are going to give you an idea of whether the area is going to grow in the future or not, as well as what is the taxation like. Is it a place that's very favorable to business? Is it very favorable to landlords, or is it more favorable to tenants? Those are a lot of things you need to learn. Another good way to learn is to go to your local real estate meetups. If they happen around you, you're gonna find landlords, you're gonna find real estate agents, and you're gonna find property managers, a lot of people that are gonna be willing to exchange information with you, especially if you come by saying you don't know much. Usually you'll find a couple of nice people. That's what I've done, and I know a lot of people have done that. Sometimes meet people that are not perfect, but most of the time it's a really good experience. Once you've done that, you need to decide how you're going to invest. Are you going to invest alone or with partners that are going to bring you all the money or part of the money or the experience or their network? Are you going to invest under your own name or under the name of a company, a corporation like an LLC, S Corp, what have you? Those are important things to consider in terms of the return you're going to get, in terms of the tax implication, in terms of the legal implications in the future. So those are things that you should consider. And I remember now that I haven't told you that I actually created the equivalent of an LLC here to invest. So I have not invested under my own name for both properties that I mentioned before. And of course, you need to decide about your budget. Do you have cash for down payment, or do you need to pay cash for the whole property? Do you have access to banks? Have you already discussed with banks and financial institutions? Those are important steps to take before you actually go and look for the property. Next comes meeting your team. When I say meeting your team, this is the obvious. Maybe you have your partner that I mentioned before. You need a real estate manager. You need to find a property manager, an accountant, obviously for the future, or when you need to set up the company, a lawyer maybe, some insurance. You need people around to help you. They're not going to be your employees. They're going to be business relationship at the beginning, and you need to meet a lot of them to find the perfect one, and always keep a couple of them around, because you're gonna get more information and more opportunities coming your way. As I was mentioning, for me, the real estate agent I knew at the time, we already had 10 years of history back on us, and that's the same real estate agent. She helped me find this house I'm sitting in today, and we've known each other now for almost 20 years. Same for the property manager and same for my accountants. Now that you've done all this preparation, it's time to look for your property. Start looking at everything that goes into your parameters. It may take a few months before you find a good one, but once you find one, start writing proposals and offers. It's not going to be accepted the first time. You may have to do 20 offers before you find your property and you accept it, but that's part of the game. Finally, you found the right property. Congratulations. Now that you've closed on it and you have the title in your hand, it's time to rent it out. You have to find the right tenant, and your property manager might help you doing that, and you start renting it out and start getting the money flowing in. And here you go. Those are all the steps. Very simplified, of course, but that's basically the journey you have to go on to find your own property wherever you are in the world. And I know depending on your market, it might be very expensive, might be very cheap. You may have access to leverage, by that I mean credit, or maybe you don't. It all depends of where you are. But the steps themselves are there, and do not hesitate to learn, to educate yourself and ask for help and build your network. It's gonna make your journey much easier. Thank you very much for watching. If you like this video or learned something, please give it a like and do not hesitate to subscribe for more related content. If you have any comments or any tips to share, please leave them in the box below. Thank you again, and until next time, goodbye.